a voice that called into the middle skin, asking if I had been going the distance. Sing a faithful passion that I cannot deny.
Hello everybody, my name is Skybound.
Starflax.
And we've just got finished watching episode 23 of Boku no Hero Academia.
Wow.
And wow, that was a really, really good episode.
That is I mean, this is what I'm talking about by completely surprising me with, like, it's consistent how it doesn't go the way you expect it. I mean, having said that, I did say that it was a potential that, well, you could, well, I mean...
I think there's a lot to unpack about this episode.
There is a lot, because that means that he's no longer in the tournament anymore.
I mean, yes, Midoriya's not in the tournament,
yeah.
But what I find super interesting about this episode is the dynamic between Todoroki and Deku.
Yeah.
They are very much different people.
But they've had similar backstories.
Well, not really
Not similar, but they both look up to...
They both look up to All Might, but both for different reasons.
Yeah.
For Deku, it's more like he was born without a quirk, but he sort of dreams of being a powerful hero that can bring hope to humanity and all of that.
I don't think he... I mean, I had a feeling that he wasn't going to be able to win this one. And the thing is...
Realistically, he couldn't.
No, I mean, that's what I was thinking. It was like, well, okay, if this was any other show, I would expect him to win, and I was wondering how the hell could he do that?
But he put a damn good fight.
I know, but in this show where he can and does lose in in this sense, I kind of was expecting him to lose, and I saw it as a very real possibility that he could, and he did.
But here's a bit of a switcheroo. He may have lost the tournament, but he also, in a sense, saved Todoroki.
Well, yes, he did, because
that's the weird thing. And really, a competition is, it's a competition. It's a game essentially.
Yeah.
And there's winners and losers, and it's essentially like the Olympics.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not just about the initial win or loss of the current tournament. It could be that overall, by that happening, it could be something that saves him in the long run. And it's good sportsmanship, because to be fair, he wasn't giving it all, was he?
To be honest, Deku was totally using every single minute bit of power he had.
He also managed to get a hit on him without completely breaking, because you remember he was talking about hitting something that wasn't a real, he could go, if he goes all out on something that's something that's not human, he'll end up breaking himself. So he kind of was beginning to limit himself by hitting him without completely, because if he hit him with his full power,
Yeah, I mean, obviously he'd cause some serious harm. Then again, let's face it, some of the powers that have been seen used in these battles are seriously damaging. Like, for example, I mean, the fact that Todoroki used that mix of fire and ice to create that massive explosion at the end there, that was only stopped because the sort of referee guy that was watching on put some walls up between them, but otherwise that would have almost certainly potentially caused a lot more damage than
well, I think the thing is
but it also brings forth a really sort of interesting question about what actually is a hero, because it seems like with like the competition and the sort of calling people the greatest hero, like for example Endeavor's meant to be like the second greatest hero after All Might.
I know, but I think that's only to do with the power.
I
think that's purely to do with the power of a guy. That's not actually to do with how much of a hero. I think he's probably the second most powerful quote unquote hero, but he's probably, and when I say powerful, I mean actual physical power.
But I think the thing is, heroes should be a combination of both of that. Both that power and that desire to actually save people.
I think what's going along the lines of it's not just about being, it's not just your merits in terms of how good your technical skills is, it's also to do with your humanitarian skills as well. And a bit,
Yeah, it's kind of it's a really interesting one because it brings forth this idea that you don't have to have like superpowers to be a hero.
well, that's the
I mean,
thing.
look
Well,
at-
that's the whole idea. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not super powerful. He's got a massive weakness in that if he uses his
Okay.
power, he's going to damage himself.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He was.
But he has a genuine desire to help people.
Yeah, and I think that he will come out of this looking really good in everyone else's eyes anyway. And if this is trying to get scouts looking towards him anyway, I mean, to be fair, I don't think he's powerful. I don't think he's good enough to actually be a hero in the real world yet. He still needs to sort out this problem with the powers, but he's gone some way towards it because he was able to punch another human being without causing massive amount of, like, he winded him, but he didn't completely break him into a million pieces. Because I bet you if he didn't restrain himself, that would have flipping happened, and plus he would have also injured himself as well.
Well, to be honest, at that point, I mean, all of his fingers were out of commission.
Yeah.
You know, his arm probably took a bit of a battering from that. The fact is, one of the really inspiring things about Deku is his power, is his ability to kind of work through that pain and just laser focused on whatever his goal is. And I don't think his goal.
That's the reason why I think this. I said this at the beginning when we first started watching this series. This is the reason why a lot of the stuff like that actually reminds me a little bit of people with Asperger's. You know, the whole how he can be laser focused on one goal to the point where he's not even feeling pain. I'm not saying having Asperger's does that, but I'm saying it does sort of remind me of, you know, how laser focused I can be sometimes.
But there's also
on a single goal.
But there's also just the fact that, you know, ultimately, during that battle, despite the fact how meaningful it would be for him to win that, he wasn't trying to win that. He was trying to make Todoroki accept both sides of himself.
Yeah.
You know, make him realise he's not his father.
Yeah,
He can use his power, you know, but it's his power.
Yeah, and his father is a complete douchebag. No, a douchebag is an understatement. He's a complete asshat. You know, and I would use stronger words, but I would be afraid of our video being even more fossil than it currently is.
You know what? We don't get monetization, so let me just say this: he is an abusive, violent
bastard.
fucking cunt. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the word for him.
He is. And you know, it kind of shows how he. And especially that bit at the end, oh, you finally accepted yourself. It's like, no, it's not. See, the thing is, what he really meant by that wasn't, oh, you've accepted yourself. No. What he really meant, oh, you've accepted me. It's like, no, he hasn't. He just doesn't believe that his powers are yours. You know, the powers he had may be the same physically, but they're not metaphorically the same because they're not yours.
Well, I would argue that even his powers, like even his fire powers, aren't the same as Endeavor's, because the fact is he uses his power in conjunction with the ice.
Yeah.
Therefore, his power is a combination of his mother and his father.
Well,
but it's his own power. It's not either of theirs.
That's the weird thing is, I think it's one of those things where the sum of the parts are greater than any of the single parts, really, because it's like the combination of both of them is actually more powerful than any of the single components on their own. Because it's like, for example, he's cooling he would like be cooling one side while or heating up his opposite side while he's heating. Well, he would be heating up one side, so he wasn't absolutely freezing himself while using his, you know, ice.
Yeah,
and he wasn't doing that in that battle because he was trying to stop himself. That's the reason why. Well, I don't think he was doing it in any of the battles. To be fair,
I think it's because that's when he was sort of when Midoriya was using his All Might powers to blast the ice away. He was slowly draining his cold power and drawing more cold air to his arm. So it was making it more and more visible. So he's never actually had, in the show so far, to unleash that much power that many times consecutively. So it's kind of...
It's cool.
It's where you see, this is where they need the balance. That's why he needs this fire as well as this ice. They have to work together, otherwise it's just not gonna... Otherwise his body either gets super cold, or I suspect if he did it the other way, his body would overheat, and he'd probably collapse from overheating, basically.
So there is, so while he does have the powers, he has a... This is what
He
they were
has
saying
to
about the
balance
physical...
them.
Yeah, this is why they were saying about the physical amount of strength they can have towards something. So while their bodies may have superpowers, the bodies that have the superpowers have a limit to them.
Yeah, so just like Bakugo, Bakugo understands this as well. He kind of explained it briefly, that's why his kind of weapons, his fist things, do blasts rather than just, I guess, do
massive
explosions, because it would just use up all his power at once, whereas with the blast what he can do is he can build up the sweat in those big gauntlet things and unleash it in small but effective doses, very small quick ones, but those would add up over time.
Well, the interesting thing with that is he will slowly, by doing that, he will also cause himself to sweat even more. And also that sort of reminds me of how certain electronics, I mean this is going massively off topic, but certain electronics they basically switch on and off very quickly, because if they just spent a longer period of time on, they would actually essentially burn out. LEDs are one of the things that do this, and this is why you can get really, really bright LEDs by doing this effect. So essentially what, he's basically saying that if he does it little and often, he can actually have a bigger impact, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say, except for I was glad to see Todoroki win. I was, because Deku, while obviously we do root for Deku, he is like the main protagonist of the series, Todoroki was very clearly someone, in my mind, who was kind of... He had the power, he had pretty much everything. I think this is an important milestone for Todoroki, and him being able to accept both sides of himself.
I think it would have felt unrealistic if they were able to pull it as Paul. I think the reason why they went down this route is because I don't think they could pull something out of their asses that could do some...
I mean, they
legitimately come up with a believable reason why you would lose.
I mean, they could have done a thing where, that explosion right at the end blasted them both out of the arena and it was declared a tie.
Yeah.
They could have done that.
Yeah, but then they would have to do the arm wrestle thing, and let's face it, who's going to...
At this point, Deku has no arm to wrestle with.
Well, exactly. So he'd probably lose by default. So why it would be technically a draw, he would lose by default because he couldn't get himself ready. I mean, that's pretty much what they were saying there. And I think even if he had won that battle, I don't think he would have got himself ready for the next battle at all.
So in a way, it's kind of a good thing that he lost, because he completely ruined his hands, his arms, everything else during that battle. He's going to need a couple of days off, I think, to recover.
Oh god, yeah, I can see that being the case.
But yeah, it was really good. It was really enjoyable episode. Definitely a very good episode.
Yeah. I mean, rating wise, I would give that about, and I would say a 9. Would you say 9?
I'm gonna go 9.3.
Yeah, okay, I would say about, I mean, I thought, well, not any higher than that would have been, it wouldn't have been, right, solid, I'll give it a 9.3 as well. It was a really good episode.
But yeah, such a good episode. Anyway, hope you enjoyed our discussion. We're definitely looking forward to the next episode of Boku no Hero Academia. Make sure that you watch the reaction down in the description below. Also, if you're keeping up with any of our other anime commentaries, remember that we're watching Sword Art Online over on BitChute, which hopefully, if you haven't subscribed to us there already, go do so. And we're also watching Steins Gate, which we started a couple of weeks back. So that's a really interesting
Steins Gate,
one as well.
We started uploading them a couple of weeks back. We've started watching this all the way back when the MRP season was still going.
Yeah, but still, for the purpose of this, yeah, go watch our Steins Gate. We've got 2 episodes out at the moment, I think, or 3 maybe by the time this comes out. But yeah, go watch it. It's really interesting, really super great anime.
I have to admit, I do like it.
I've already bought a jumper for it.
Hopefully I'll be getting something for Christmas with it on.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name is Skybound.
Starlight Lux.
And we will see you with the next episode of Boku no Hero Academia. Goodbye.
Bye.